Hey, what's up, everybody? It's 310. UFC 310 just wrapped up, and it's been a couple days. It's now Monday, and I've sat on a couple things, and let's recap a couple things. Also, don't mind the Fortnite background, just resetting some stuff because that update dropped, and now there's 200 presets, so I gotta reset my skins. You gotta respect it. All right, let's go through some like quick stuff, the fights that were like cool, but not the big names. Guida versus Hooper. Easy chase Hooper dub. He's his last name. He's a Hooper. Durden versus Van. You gotta respect Van. Crazy striker. Insane output. Super goated to watch. But he's calling for a top 10 opponent. Blood. Blood. We want you to be goated. Come on. You're 23. You're only 2 years older than me. Can't be rushing to the top just yet. And that's because I want you to do good. Not because I'm a little jelly. But come on. You don't want to rush to the top and then Asakura moment. Yeah. Wyman versus Anders. All I've got in my notes is Unk. Unk status. Leave it at that. Brown versus Battle. Disappointing and boring. Happy for Battle. I like him to get the win, but wasn't entertaining like it usually is. Like his last fight, that was goated. And happy gets the win, and hopefully his next fight he gets some good momentum. Then he can go, look, I'm on a streak. That's what we're hoping for. That's the only good thing I can say about that. Reyes versus Smith, Unk part 2, but it was actually sad for Smith. Has not had a good solid performance in a while. I know he got that submission against whatever his freaking name was at 301, but that was kind of a fluke, low-key. Other than that, my dude has not been doing good. So hopefully enjoys retirement. But let's go Reyes. I'm Dominic Reyes. I'm a four-sport athlete. So we're happy about that. Landwehr versus Choi. I think that's how you say it. L stands for Nate. And Choi looked like a top 5 low fighter. You can't tell me he didn't look insane, dude. When all me and my friends were watching that, we're like, dude, what? How is this guy unranked, bro? Don't really know a lot about him. Think looked like TKZ in his corner, so that was cool. But yeah, he looked insane, dude. He looked like John Jones, brother. So can't wait to see him fight again. And then last for these, like, I guess, fire rapid rounds. Mitchell versus Gracie. Happy Bryce won. Sick elbow knockout, but dude, Kron sucks, bro. He absolutely sucks, dude. And then all he did was clinch and pull guard. That's all he did, bro. That was the most embarrassing shit I've ever seen. How are you going to be a UFC fighter and your only move is walking up, clinching, and then wrapping your legs around a dude? Come on, brother. Come on, brother. You got to have a bit more than that in your tool bag. But moving on to the fights I actually want to talk about more in depth was first one, Aljo Evloev. Freaking entertaining. Just as I predicted. I'm so freaking smart, bro. But love how fans are actually enjoying it. It was recognized. I was telling people, I was like, bro, Aljo Evloev is going to be goated. Because I went to UFC 307. It was originally scheduled for then. That was like the third most hype fight for me personally. And my friends I was going with were like, bro, you're tweaking. I said, nah, it's actually going to be good. And then it got rescheduled for this. And yeah, when we were watching that, they're like, okay, Jackson, did I just name drop myself? I'm not going to edit that out. If you know type shit. But they're like, dang, dude, you was actually right. And yeah, you know how it is, just the greatest MMA predictor on YouTube, man. You just know it. What do we do after that? You got to do Evloev and Lopez, I think. Because next fight for featherweight title is Ilya versus Volk. And Ilya today is going, oh, I'm actually leaving featherweight and going to fight Charles Oliveira. No, you're not. You're just not doing that, dude. You can't defend your belt once, and then the guy you defend against goes to lightweight, and you go, okay, I'm going to chase him, bro. This dude wants to be Conor McGregor so badly, dude. It's not happening. You got to stay at featherweight, dude. Nobody wants you to move up. I mean, you have to at least defend against Volk, and then you can talk about it. Because you did the promo for it. You and him face off in the cage again. You can't just be like, no, I'm actually not doing that. Even though nobody wants to see that fight. It's set in stone. It's going to happen. Even though we don't want it. It's just kind of weird. Like, come on, Ilya. But really, bro? You're not fighting Charles Oliveira. It's kind of weird to just be like, yeah, I'm going to vacate the belt and then fight Charles. I don't know. Just weird. But you do Evloev versus Lopez next, and then the winner gets a title shot. I think that just makes the most sense. You know, they've got crazy beef, crazy rivalry. It's crazy to think. I think Diego has had 5 fights since their first fight, and Evloev now has had 2. Just crazy. I mean, gotta respect Diego. And for Aljo, you gotta do him versus Ortega or Bryce Mitchell. His grappling is super entertaining, like I've been saying, as long as he is a good dance partner. Calvin Kattar, that shit sucked, dude. Nobody wants to watch that again. So give him someone who's actually fun on the ground, and then it's entertaining, like with Evloev. So let's do Ortega or Mitchell next. Next fight, Gane and Volkov. Insane decision. Everyone who's watching this video, and you're this far in, you know about it. Gane lost very clearly. Only thing I can say about it really is that the decision really overshadowed how entertaining the fight was. I mean, when we were watching it, we're like, dude, what the fuck is happening? Because it was actually super entertaining. They were rolling around on the ground. The striking was insane. And Volkov came out with like this whole edit style. It was pretty cool with the knee pads and everything, and the Patty Pimblett braids. That was freaking sick. And yeah, he won. And then the judges gave it to Gane just because he's got the bigger name. Lame. And Gane is just freaking loser, bro. He's the real loser. And then, I mean, especially when, you know, he was on bottom holding a, whatever it was, a Kimura or something. I can't even remember. It was just like mind baffling how he's holding on to a submission for like 3 minutes. That just wasn't working. And then when the round is over, he just lays on the ground for like a minute staring at the ceiling. Like, yeah, bro, everyone knows he lost. It's embarrassing. Not really sure what to do with either of these guys next. I mean, what do you do? Like, Volkov clearly won, but you can't give him a title shot. He just doesn't have that name. So the only thing I can think of right now off the top of my head is give Gane to Almeida, and then hopefully he gets subbed. His punishment for that decision, even though it's not his fault, but you know what I'm saying. Next fight, Shavkat versus Ian Gary. I was excited for this fight, but I expected it to be insanely boring, and I'm surprised how online people were saying it's gonna be a war. This is gonna be fight of the night. Have you guys? I fully expected Ian Gary to make it boring. Have we not remembered his last 2 fights? They were just super boring to watch. It was like falling asleep during the last 2 ones. That being said, this fight, he was the one making it entertaining. Shavkat, wow. I've been saying this, Shavkat's overrated. He looks terrible until he finds a submission or a finish. I mean, every Shavkat fight up until the finish is incredibly boring. It's a clinch fest. He's got 0 wrestling. And before this fight, I think he had like a 29% takedown accuracy. And the whole narrative was he's going to ragdoll Ian Gary. Obviously, that didn't happen. Because Shavkat made this a super boring fight. Every boring moment during this fight was because of Shavkat. 100% because of him and not Ian Gary. This was, I thought there was going to be a lot of respect for Ian Gary. Like, yeah, you took this fight and you made it harder. You made Shavkat look, not as unbeatable. But no, I think Ian Gary really came out and made Shavkat look like shit. And he's living up to the shit rat name by Colby Covington. And I'm happy that now people are like, whoa, this guy actually isn't that goated. Because he's been getting overglazed so much, dude. It's so annoying. Like, this 18 fights, 18 finishes. I get it. That's cool. Rewatch any of the fights. And obviously a finish is always exciting. So snip out the part where he gets the finish and just rewatch every fight. Other than the Jeff Neal one. Every other fight he has is super boring. I mean, super boring. And he does not look good. And yeah, Ian Gary came out. Those first 2 rounds, they were, I was like, oh man, come on, man. Ian Gary was just getting clinched up. It was so boring. That's the thing. Like, it was because Shavkat just walks up, holds Ian Gary, tries to take him down, can't do it. And it's not like it's not because Ian Gary has insane takedown offenses, because Shavkat has horrendous wrestling. I don't think he shot like for legs at all. Like, he goes up and just clinches. He doesn't throw elbows. He doesn't throw knees in the clinch. It's literally just pressing against the cage. It's Mario Batista style. And people are still like, dude, Shavkat's the man, bro. Shavkat's the man. What do you mean, dude? If this was anybody else, his performance would get clowned on. It's just because it's Shavkat and people are like, dude, he's a marauder. He's crazy. And because he's got a cool name. That's the only reason why people are like giving him any praise for it. I mean, the real winner of this fight, though, was Ian Gary. This guy came out against the supposed boogeyman and made him look horrendous. Now, he was the one who made a majority of people be like, wow, okay, maybe he's not all that. And dude, 5th round? Dude, I was jumping up and down when Ian Gary's got that submission, dude. That was insane. Ian Gary has gotten so much respect just because of this fight. You cannot deny that. I mean, literally a year ago, everyone's going, dude, fuck this guy. He's a cook. You know what? I was too. And I still make fun of him. But I got to put some respect on his name, bro. I got to put some respect on his name. This guy came out, fought Shavkat. And, you know, I don't think he's that good, but the world does. And he makes him look like shit. I mean, there was no moment where Shavkat looked good. It was every moment of excitement, every moment of, oh my gosh, this is insane, was done by Ian Gary. Every single moment was. There was a couple like singular strikes Shavkat had in the first 2 rounds, like when he landed that spinning back fist by itself. Like, sure, those were cool, but other than those minor and few and far between striking exchanges in the first 2 rounds, every other moment of excitement was Ian Gary. I'm putting some respect on this guy's name. He's cool now. He's shot up as one of my favorite welterweights. And even though I'm going to still make fun of him for being a cuck and all this stuff, he's goated. And I want to see him win. I want to see him win his next fight. And I got a lot of respect for him. And you have to. I mean, he's just goated. And then Shavkat, buddy, you're not beating Bilal. I was saying this before. Bilal 48-47. Split decision, gonna beat Shavkat. But now I'm leaning 49-46. Unanimous decision. That's how Bilal gets it done. Bilal, his biggest strength, obviously, is wrestling. And Shavkat's biggest weakness is wrestling, as we just saw. Bilal's coming out and dunking people on their heads. And he pressures, and he pressures. Shavkat is not going to be able to do anything about it. If you can't offensively wrestle good, you can't defensively wrestle good. That's just how it works. Even if you got good jiu-jitsu, we haven't seen anyone really... Well, we just saw freaking Ian Gary test his jiu-jitsu. And yeah, Ian Gary almost had a submission. And the only reason he didn't get it was because, you know, Shavkat, obviously, he's just... he's a nomad. He's like an ancient man. He can't be put to sleep, and that's why. But, I mean, Bilal Muhammad's going to be able to grapple and wrestle fuck this guy. Yeah, that's the next fight for Shavkat. And it's going to be exciting when Bilal Muhammad gives him his first churro, his first loss. That's going to be good. I can't wait. And then people will put respect on Bilal's name. That's what I'm hyped for. And then as for Ian Gary, what should his next fight be? That I'm not sure. I mean, if Buckley wins, maybe you do that fight. You could do Kamaru Usman if Kamaru Usman ever decides to fight again. Side note, what is this guy doing, bro? What is Marty Fake Newsman doing? Blood's last fight was October of 2023 against Hamzat on short notice. And then he's just disappeared off the face of the earth. Like, bro, move up to middleweight or fight somebody. Come on, dude. It's just embarrassing for Kamaru Usman to be like, dude, I'm still the greatest welterweight on the planet. And then you refuse to fight Shavkat. Like, you know the UFC was like, Usman, please take this fight. And he's like, nah, I'm not doing that, bro. So that's why Ian Gary stepped up. Kamaru Usman, you got to get in the cage. I love you, buddy, but you got to get in the cage. Like, I put respect on your name, but I can only do it so much, man. I can only do it so much. You got to be a fighter. You got to be active for me to put some respect on you, bro. And then for the main event, man, that was tough to watch. Guy Asakura is so cool. He came out and he's so Sigma. He's so Sigma, the way he's smirking and everything. I'm like, oh, this guy's goated. And then that first round, it was, dude, insane explosivity from both sides. Super entertaining. And then that second round, I can't even remember what happened. Just in my mind, I just remember Pantoja, like, running on Kai Asakura's back and wrapping him up. And I was just like, it's over. The second he got the body triangle in, I was like, that's a wrap. And started looking away and coping. And then seeing Kai Asakura just, like, go limp. Good win for Pantoja. But I really wanted Kai to win, so that kind of sucks. But, I mean, you got to give Pantoja his flowers and respect. He came out, he beat a champion from another promotion. You know, keeping the UFC's legacy intact is the best. But I don't know what you do with this guy. He's beat everybody. You might have to just move him up to bantamweight. Like, oh, he's going to face Brandon Royval for the third time? Yeah. Newsflash, we don't want to see that. We don't care, buddy. And Kai Kara France, yeah, we still don't care. We got to get Marab out of there. Well, here's the thing. Umar's going to beat him. I totally forgot that fight got announced because it was just, like, out of nowhere. But yeah. Pantoja's really the only way to continue moving towards GOAT status is to move up, I think, because there's not really any more names at flyweight. There's literally nobody. They had to bring in a guy. And then he demolished him. Like, but if he moves up and say he beats whoever's the bantamweight champ at that point, is he not one of the greatest fighters ever? Is he not in the top 10 at that point? I think he might be. Like, the dude's been on an insane run, and he's 34 at flyweight. That's crazy. That's crazy. But anyway, yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. See ya.